Hey TubeViewer, so this video here was requested by one of my subscribers, Carl Newton, uh, who is British, and he was just curious, asked me a question, what some of my favorite British television is. Uh, I absolutely love British television. I just think the shows on there are, especially like the comedies, are so much better than the American sitcoms. I'm not a big fan of like the Two and a Half Men and the How I Met Your Mothers and stuff. Those shows just don't cut it for me. I think the last actual American sitcom I watched that I really enjoyed was probably Seinfeld, but I'm just not a fan of the American comedy shows. Uh, so he just asked me to mention some of my favorite British shows. I had to write them down to paper. I got a good little list here. Some old, some new. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of Doctor Who, going all the way back to when I used to watch it when I was little, when they would air episodes here on a PBS channel. So that's a big one for me. Next up, the Avengers. Absolutely love the Avengers. Patrick McNee, of course, and my favorite of his femme fatales, Diana Rigg, Emma Pill. Uh, Absolutely brilliant. Still keep my eyes open for that, so far only available in the UK, that Avengers the Complete box set. Ugh, I would kick a nun in the boob for that Avengers box set. Uh, Next up, the Mighty Boosh. Julian Barrett, Noel Fielding, Rich Fulcher. Just absolutely love that show, that comedy show. Love the characters. And of course, after that ended, Noel Fielding, I believe it was Noel Fielding Luxury Comedy. I think that only had one season or one series so far, but that was a fun sketch type show. Some fun characters on that. The other thing I like about British shows is uh, one season might only have like 6 episodes or something like that, as opposed to like the American shows where sometimes they have 22 or more episodes. And I mean, back in the 70s when they had even more than that. And then some American shows, run like 7, 8, 9, 10 seasons. And I feel that when a show gets to be that high, you got to have some really, really good ideas to keep people hooked and keep people intrigued. Because, I mean, you're dealing with 2 characters over the course of 22 episodes for like 8 or 9 seasons. That's a lot of episodes to do. So that's the good thing about British shows. I mean, yeah, you might not get as many episodes, but usually those episodes are so well done that just like one episode is better than like 6 episodes of like an American TV show. I mean, that's how I see it anyway. Next up, Snuffbox. Matt Berry and Rich Fulcher lasted one season, just like a handful of episodes, 6 episodes, I think. Absolutely hilarious. I've said it before in other videos. I would take Snuffbox, just those 6 episodes or whatever, over 30, 40 episodes of some other shows that are on TV here right now. Absolutely love Snuffbox. Big fan of Matt Berry, huge fan of Rich Fulcher. Rich Fulcher's an American, but he's not really big here, but he's big over in the UK, which is a shame. He should be huge everywhere, just like Matt Berry. Going along with the lines of Snuffbox, Garth Marenghi's Dark Place is where I first saw Matt Berry. Hilarious show set in like a hospital with like some, funny paranormal, supernatural things going on. Absolutely love Garth Marenghi's Dark Place. That's another box set or series that does not have an American release, unfortunately. But I have seen all the episodes numerous times. Next up, Spaced. Um, Simon Pegg, Nick Frost, before their Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, etc. Love Spaced. You can see like where the ideas for Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz and everything came from, because there's so much of it scattered throughout Spaced that there's not really a bad episode of the bunch. We do have a really, really nice release here in America of that with a lot of bonus stuff, which is really nice. I'd like to see that on Blu-ray. That'd be pretty cool. Obviously, I'm not showing any actual boxes of the stuff I have because I don't have all these shows, but I just want to give these shows a mention. Next up, a current show, Misfits. Really like the Misfits, just about a group of kids that are troublemakers, and some freak storm happens, and they all get these supernatural, weird, wacky powers. I think there's 4 series of it. We only have 3 released on DVD in America, but I think there's 4 or 5. And I know, like, halfway through, I think the 3rd season, they actually shifted and got some different characters and got rid of some other characters. That takes guts to do in a show, because you get these characters in a show, you get to know these characters, and then they, like, kill them off or switch them out or something, you know. That could doom a show, but from what I've read about the Misfits, it seems to stay consistently popular. It's popular with me. Next up, Patrick McGoohan, a double dose of Patrick McGoohan, Secret Agent, aka Danger Man, and The Prisoner. Secret Agent lasted like 80-something episodes, and after that was done, Patrick went on to do The Prisoner, which only lasted 17 episodes, but fabulous, like almost hour-long episodes, and each one is almost just like a little mini movie. It's so good that you can go back like numerous times and just watch that one episode again and again and again and just see how smart and sharp as a sword that show is. Just a brilliant, brilliant show. Loved Patrick McGoohan. Really sad when he passed away a few years ago. Big fan of his. Next up, the It Crowd. I was a big fan of the It Crowd. Once again, Matt Berry was in that. Just all around the cast was really good in there. I remember they tried to do an American spin-off or something like that. And I think the Chris O'Dowd character in that was supposed to be played by Joe McHale from a Community or something. But it didn't fly. Obviously, it would have been terrible, I imagine. Another show, The Office. Loved the original UK Office. I thought it was funny. Thought it was fun. Had perfect running length, you know, for how long it lasted. The American one, not so much. You know, I liked the first few, like the first season was pretty cool because it was really, like the first episodes were almost the same as like the British one, just, you know, Americanized. I didn't really mind the cast in the American one. I just think, again, it ran too long. It dried up. The jokes got tiresome. So, you know, I just stopped watching it. Next up, Fawlty Towers. Big fan of Fawlty Towers. Love John Cleese. And, of course, with that goes Monty Python. Monty Python may be one of the best comedy shows, period, of all time. Not just the show, but like the movies that they've done, just brilliant. You know, love Monty Python. I can't say anything bad about those guys. They're hilarious. Some of the sketches are really dry humor and stuff, but it still just, you know, makes you crack up, makes you laugh. Next up, 2 shows that have the same main stars in them, and that's Peep Show and that Mitchell and Webb look. Peep Show was cool because like the whole show was like a first person point of view, like the camera, the people would talk into the camera as they were walking around. It was like kind of like a sitcom thing. I just thought that was a really fun concept. It was a cool premise of the way the camera looked as opposed to the characters that were there. And then the Mitchell and Webb look, the 2 guys, Mitchell and Webb, kind of like a it was kind of like a sketch show. They did different skits, they dressed up, they did different characters, but once again, just really funny, really smart. Next up, Mr. Bean. Rowan Atkinson, of course, Blackadder was great too, but big fan of Mr. Bean. Another show that when I was little used to be on PBS, and actually a couple years ago, they used to show it here on the Spanish channel. That was kind of fun. I mean, there's not a lot of talking in Mr. Bean, but when there was, you know, it would be in Spanish, and it just kind of a weird mix of the two. But I absolutely love Mr. Bean. I think Rowan Atkinson is so cool. Just such a funny, cool, weird-looking little guy. Just comes across really nice on screen. And last on my list, I know I've probably missed some shows here, but I just wanted to jot down some stuff I could think of off the top of my head. And that is Whose Line Is It Anyway? Ryan Stiles, Greg Proops, John Sessions, Mike Machine, Josie Lawrence, hosted by Clive Anderson. Just tons of stuff. Basically an improv show. You got the four guys, you have the host. He says, okay, this is what you guys are going to do. Like the worst things to say on a first date. And then they come out and they say something. And there's different games that they do. They do different accents. They do dubbing. They show like the TV with like the actors, but they're doing the dubbing of the voices. Just all kinds of different little skits. They have that on in America. Now, Whose Line Is It Anyway? A couple years ago, it was hosted for the longest time by Drew Carey, but had some of the same people: Greg Proops, Ryan Stiles, Colin Mockery, etc. It wasn't bad. Drew Carey was kind of a downer because Drew Carey, to me, is just not that funny. I mean, he's good as the host of Price is Right, but he's just not that funny of a guy. And now it's on again, and you have like Wayne Brady, who, once again, I'm not a huge fan of. But you have Colin Mockery and Ryan Stiles, which are just absolutely fabulous people. Um, it's hosted by Aisha Tyler, and it's pretty fun. It's a pretty fun show still. So yeah, that's my list of a lot of the British shows that I enjoy. Like I said, I probably missed some, maybe some older ones I missed. I know that I've seen, and I know they're floating around in my head, but as of right now, I cannot think of them. But those are the ones that I could think of. Those are the ones I really enjoy. So there we go. And that was for Carl Newton. Hope you enjoyed it. There we go. Anybody have a request for a video they want me to do? I'm always up for ideas, so send me your requests. Let me know. So there we go. Thanks for watching. Comment down below. Subscribe. Spread the word. Cheers.